will consist of testimony from the Department of Public Property and the Department of Fleet Services. Ms. Lawhead, will you please call on the next panel?
Joseph Brasky, Commissioner for the Department of Public Property, and we'll also have Joseph Rosati, Commissioner for the Department of Fleet Services, come up as well.
So before we get started, Joe Bransky want to say congratulations on officially being appointed as the Commissioner of Public Property.
Thank you, Council President.
It always warms my heart when we see the elevation of an individual who comes from that great part of Philadelphia known as South Philly. We also have Commissioner Del Rossi as well from South Philly, Commissioner of Streets, correct? Okay, also Commissioner DHS, Kimberly Ali from South Philly. And so it's always good to see some homegrown talent in City Council. And also to Mr. Joseph Rosati, Commissioner of Fleet Services. I want to thank you for always working in partnership with City Council just to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to have smooth operations in terms of fleet services and just keeping us abreast of all the things that we need to do for our operations to work efficiently for my members here in City Council. Just want the public to just thank you and acknowledge you for your hard work and congratulate you, Joe. And so state your name for the record and please begin your testimony.
Thank you, Council President. My name is Joe Brasky, Commissioner, Department of Public Property. Good afternoon, Council President, members of City Council. I am Joseph Brasky, Commissioner of Public Property. I want to thank Mayor Parker for naming me to the permanent position of Commissioner last month. Thank you, Mayor Parker. It is a pleasure to appear before City Council today in support of Public Property's FY26 budget request. I would like to thank Council President Johnson and members of Council for their support, the support that they provide throughout the year, being that voice for the communities that we provide services for. So I thank you. As you have our written testimony, which highlights the many accomplishments and plans of the department, I would only like to add one thing that is not in the written testimony, and it is about my team. The Department of Public Property has many outstanding employees that tend to fly under the radar, and I would like to acknowledge them publicly for their commitment to public service. I am very proud to be a part of a team that shows so much care and commitment to their professions while continuing to support our mission of responsibly serving our city's workforce and community by providing quality facilities and workspaces of which we are proud. The DPP team performed flawlessly during the change of leadership in the department. It was nothing less than I expected from such a dedicated team. So I thank you for indulging me. I'll be happy to any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. And so the space that I'm going to ask you questions on, I'm really going to pivot and allow Councilmember Dr. Nina Ahmad really to take the lead, but I'm going to set the tone. Where are we when it comes to building the infrastructure for EV vehicles, right, in the city of Philadelphia? So expanding more EV vehicles and also the charging stations as we focus on a more climate and sustainable, a more sustainable climate as it relates to us addressing pollution in our city. And
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer.
I was trying to say on cue,
Thank you,
the
Council
reduction of us using gas-powered
No, I
vehicles.
got you. So I'm glad to have Joe Rosati here, Commissioner of Fleet Services. He's been working on some stuff, and he'll talk more about that. But we are partnering with him with the EV charging also.
I'm moving too fast. Joe, go ahead and do your testimony first.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Good afternoon, Council President Johnson and distinguished members of City Council. I'm Joseph Rosati, Commissioner for the Department of Fleet Services. Joining me today are Dr. Kay Wilson, Deputy Commissioner for Administration, and John DeLeo, Deputy Commissioner for Operations. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony on the Department of Fleet Services fiscal year 2026 operating budget. The Department of Fleet Services FY26 General Fund budget request is $77.85 million, which is $7.48 million less than FY25 estimated obligations. FY26 operating budget request includes $22.97 million in Class 100, $7.53 million in Class 200, and $47.35 million in Class 3 and 400. The Department of Fleet Services has 343 dedicated employees who work diligently to provide safe and reliable vehicles and equipment for the operating departments to work toward the mayor's vision of a safer, cleaner, greener Philadelphia with economic opportunity for all. You have my detailed written testimony. I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. And so I'll direct that question to you regarding EV charging stations and also expanding our EV car fleet. So give us an update on where we're at.
So where we're at right now, we have about 400 battery electric vehicles in the fleet. We have 400, as far as alternative fuels go, I might as well give it all to you. There's 1,201 alternative fuel vehicles out of 6,800 vehicles. There's 400 battery electric vehicles, 34 compressed natural gas trash compactors, and 767 hybrid electric vehicles, HEVs. A large majority of those are police vehicles. As far as the electric vehicle infrastructure goes and our plans, our goal is to have about 1,000 battery electric vehicles in service by the end of the Parker administration. In order to do that, we got to build a fast charging infrastructure. We currently have one fast charger at 26 and Masters, and we plan to build 4 more. That'll give us the ability to charge 1,000 plus electric vehicles. So as that infrastructure gets built, we can expand the EVs to our goal to 1,000.
Okay, thank you very much. Commissioner Joe Bransky, just a brief question, I'll turn it over to my members. The Public Property Department is planning on board. You have a high school CTE program, CCME, to work to transition trades to trainees. Give me an idea of that particular plan and the status of it.
Thank you, Council President. Yes, we've already have initiated that in the past years. Probably 10 years ago, we started the program with the School District of Philadelphia. We have at least 3 to 5 accomplishments that they were handed off to us from when they were 16 years old. Mothers dropped them off to here at City Hall. We took them under our wing, and we let them work for us. They worked 1 day a week during the winter, and then through the summer, they worked full-time to work with us. And we didn't specifically hand them a trade. We let them work with different people and different trades throughout our facilities, so they get a grasp of what they want to do and not just say, here, you're doing plumbing or carpentry. So just for one success story we had, he started with us out of Edison, came across, didn't know what he wanted to do, worked with us. Now he's 23 years old. He's HVAC 2, working for the city of Philadelphia. City paid for his schooling to help him with his trades. So we're all for bringing people in, and we also have a few in our field locations that work with trades and, just develop them to see what they want to do in life and see how, and also be like a father figure to them, kind of, teach them the right way to do things, save money for lunch, stuff like that. So, yeah, we're all for it, and we're looking to expand it. And then with the mayor's initiative with the Community College of Philadelphia, we're trying to build off of that because we need good young bodies to join the trades field.
That's exactly what I was going to ask about the municipal college.
Yep.
And so there will be, obviously, there's a partnership for some synergy, correct?
We're going to use everything that's available to us to bring tradespeople in. It seems the younger generation, I'm not saying they don't want to do it, but I don't think they're aware of it. So I feel that's what we have to do to go out and get them and show them what's involved. You can make good money, make a good career, especially with the city of Philadelphia. So that's our recruitment effort, and we'll use any available avenue that we have.
Total number of participants to date?
For us, I would say just through the School District of Philadelphia, we probably had 8 to 10. And it's all dependent on the recruitment effort of it, and we do the job fairs, and so we are, and I think now that with the community college involved, I think we'll get better feeders. So we're looking to double that if we can.
What's the current partnership with the school district to expand that number, even totally separate from community college?
Partnership with that.
To go from 10 to 50.
Oh, sure. I would love to do that. And any way the council could help us, that would be awesome. Our HR department is actively in communication with the School District of Philadelphia, and we told them, send as many as we can get, because we have the trades to handle it. I mean, we can, groom them. So I'm more than willing to expand as much as we can.
And last question, how do we deal with our inventory? And I see that we have a significant amount of vacant inventory that's public property wise, right? At least with the data that's given to me right here. But I want to get an idea of, let's say we have a quasi-city agency that we fund, right? And we use our budget to fund their operation at a site that's technically owned by a private entity, but we're pretty much still funding them to pay us back our own individual money, if that makes sense, right? I give you public defenders, for so to speak.
Okay.
Right? All right. They get funding from the city, but a significant amount of money goes toward their rent and also paying taxes.
Okay.
So we have these vacancies. Why not let them come in one of our publicly owned parcels, right? Properties, rehab a building, right, that the city owns, and we can actually save that money. That's basically what I'm getting at.
We can. I'd have to find out more information, the details of, the funding involved, of, supporting them and then bringing them in. So we would have to really work on that. I had to really get back to you on that answer, as far as to give you a foolproof answer, than just throwing something out there and saying something we can't commit to.
Well, that I appreciate.
Thank you.
It's just something I observed and just
that's
said,
fine.
okay, well, if we're funding an organization that's doing a city service, but they also paying they're paying rent to a landlord,
Sure.
right? Which is basically, to me, if we have public land, we should build in-house.
Sure.
And save that money, because we wind up having to pay the taxes. Now, how are we using our own money to pay the taxes
Right.
for a quasi-city agency, which basically we're paying to pay our own selves back?
Sure.
That's basically
No,
what
I
I'm
get
getting
you.
at. I'm like, well, why are we? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I really want to do a deeper dive, and not just to on Public Defender's Office. That's just an example.
Sure, example. Yeah.
Right? But I'm sure we have other agencies that we're actually funding.
Sure.
And then when they, fall back on their taxes, we're actually paying to pay ourselves. But we have these vacancies, which means if we do an analysis of our inventory, then maybe we can start moving individuals off private developers on property and being in-house, and I think that would probably save us a considerable amount of money.
I agree. There's a lot of plans that we're trying to develop. It's just, but I'll get you the information. We'll get back
Something
to
to
you.
consider under your regime. The chair recognizes Councilwoman Dr. Nina Ahmad, then I'm going to go to Councilwoman Jamie Gaultier, then Councilwoman Richardson.
All right. Thank you, Council President. Thank you so much for being here. Music to my ears, 1,000 EVs. Do we have a time frame for that, for getting to 1,000 EVs for our fleet?
Well, yeah, the timeframe is we're building the infrastructure, so by the end of June, we should have another fast charging station in Southwest Philly. And in FY26, we hope to have the other 3 built. And
Okay.
once that infrastructure is built, then it's a matter of funding and getting the vehicles ordered.
And are these level 3 chargers you're looking at?
Yes.
For some reason, I thought we had 3 level 3 chargers, or maybe it was 1 with 2 already in the works?
Well, I call them fast chargers. We have 1 fast charger that is operational right now, that's being used at 26 and Master. It's our municipal
Yeah.
fast charger. We also have a vendor that we're using for fast charging as well until we can get our
Your own.
other sites
Okay.
up and running. And then
So-
we'll wean ourselves off the vendor.
I just wanted to kind of get a sense of how many, and maybe you know this answer, how many fast level 3 chargers we have in the entire city. Would you know that number?
I wouldn't know the private companies. I could find out.
Okay, only because that has been an impediment for people to, use EVs. One of our biggest issues has been maintenance and availability of these things. So in your experience, I remember there was a time where there were long lines of city cars waiting to get charged, hoping that has changed. I wanted to kind of get your feedback on what issues have you faced, and in terms of getting to level 3 chargers, I know we have to talk to the fire department, we have to talk to PICO. Can you just kind of tell us a little bit of the landscape you're facing trying to ramp up to level 3?
Yeah, it's a challenge because if we have to get PICO to drop a line, in a perfect situation, we use the power from the facility. So we were able to do that with the one at 26 and Master, and we were able to get that one up and running quickly. But it was also an issue with parts as well. It seemed like at one point you couldn't get any parts to build a fast charging station. The parts were on order for a long time. So the parts issues kind of went away. But yeah, there's challenges with permits and whether or not, like in Southwest Philly on Norwich Drive at our body shop where we're going to have another fast charger, the PICO has to drop a line for us.
So the holdup is getting a permit, you said?
Permits and then
That would be LNI?
permits, yeah, through LNI, and also getting the electricity
There.
necessary to run the machine.
And the reason why I ask you all this is for lessons learned for the rest of our communities who don't work for the city, because the goal is to democratize EVs, right? So that people who live in row homes don't have access to all this, and look to work with, gas stations to have availability like everybody else just goes to the gas station to fill up. So we'd love for you to be a partner along with the Department of Transportation and Sustainability. I wanted to know what sort of engagement your department has with Office of Sustainability.
Well, we work with the Office of Sustainability to get grants, and we provide data on the electric vehicles and our CNG vehicles as well.
And are we phasing out the CNGs, or we're holding on to them till?
It's an alternative fuel.
Yeah.
There's
Much cleaner.
It's much cleaner than running diesel. So we're going to continue on until we fill that site. We can put up to 70 trucks at that site. Currently, we have, I believe it's 34 trucks.
So just wanted to say thank you for being at the forefront of doing this. We will look to you as a template for the rest of the city, because if we're going to reduce our carbon footprint, we have no other choice but to go this way. So thank you so much for all the work, and I look forward to working with both your departments to look at infrastructure needs for the rest of the city. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Councilman Jamie Gauthier.
Thank you, Council President. Good afternoon to both of you. My first questions are for public property. Even though the land bank gets a lot of attention, public property is still the largest owner of public vacant land. And frankly, our office finds that if we're trying to achieve an activation or a disposition for a property owned by public property, response times can be very long and more protracted than if we're working with just a land bank. So as a new commissioner, can you tell us of your vision and strategy for the surplus land that the city owns, and what can be done to make sure that these processes work smoother for DPP-owned vacant properties?
Thank you, Councilmember. Yes, we did come up with an initiative through Philly Stat 360 for the vacant lots or surplus vacant lots. We heard from council members of the certain problems or issues they have: overgrown weeds, fencing, concrete. I hear you.
That too,
So
yeah.
I do hear you. that was news to me when I first came in as the interim position, so I do recognize it, and we made that one of our goals just for that reason, just to help improve the looks of the vacant properties, make sure they're secure, so they're not dumping. So that is one of our properties. As far as the land bank, we can work with them to do that, but
That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking about the land bank.
just surplus vacant
I'm
land
asking
properties.
about your surplus properties and how we can both better secure them
Sure.
within
Oh, yeah.
our neighborhoods, and how we can improve the process for dispositions and cut down on the timing.
Totally understand that.
And what are your goals as a new commissioner around those items?
The goals I have, we set forth are just making sure we have the exact numbers of vacant lands, and if you look on different sites, it's different numbers. So we want to know what sites are ours. We want to know which district, councilmatic district they're in, and kind of map that to the councilmatic district. So we have more of a hands-on type feel of what's going on. And like I said, then once we go from there through funding and working with council members to see what we could do, see what we can help. Do they want gardening? Do they want, for kids to do little activities? There's endless possibilities for vacant land. And it cost us money to fund, to upkeep the land, so we could put it to use. And then, so we're able to help with you guys as far as making it safe and secure and not bad sword to the eyes.
That sounds great. Do you have a projected timeline on those plans?
We started last year, just from noticing the calls we get from the council members and different districts. So we did maybe 5. I mean, I'm not going to say it's overwhelming amount, but that was concrete pavements that we did because it was, elderly was trying to walk. So we took care of all that. Fencing, we cut trees, overgrown trees. So we're looking to expand, and we're also looking to hire a GIS analyst so that could work and put all them numbers together to, form out our plan.
I guess I'm asking, it's good that you're starting on that, but you talked about wanting to get more of a handle on what the inventory is, where it is, what the needs are. What is your timing for that type of strategy?
I would say through the year. Give us the year to build it out, and so we get a full handle. I mean, basically, we have to go district to district to verify these lots still exist, because some may be developed on already. So we need the right numbers to secure it, and then we can start building it out. So I'm hoping within a year we make an effort, because we're being held accountable by Philly 360 also.
Thank you. We look forward to
Thank you.
partnering
I
with you on
appreciate
that.
it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. The chair recognizes Councilman Majority Leader Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Council President, and thank you for putting the question on the record regarding the high school internship program and the young people. I wanted to put a question on the record for Councilmember Landau for public property, and then I'll go to my questions. Councilmember Landau would like to know, during the Committee on Legislative Oversight hearing in February, the council member asked about why there isn't apprenticeship or a pipeline to paving and milling streets. So those things are done in-house as opposed to having contractors, which delay the process. She said one of the Department of Public Property goals for FY26 is to recruit high school students from CTE and CCME programs to enter trades trainee positions. So for the Department of Public Property, from Councilmember Landau, will you commit to creating this program in fiscal year 26, and what funding is needed for an initial cohort?
Thank you, Councilmember. As far as the milling and of streets and all, that would be a streets department trade, I guess, or job duty. But we have been committed to working with the school district to bring interns in, and since we are short on trades, which I explained to Council President, we are fully committed to bringing school kids on, to train them, to make them, I would love for you to meet some of the kids that we had dealings with. I mean, it's unbelievable, the turnaround, and it just makes us feel good as a department to make sure, to see these kids 23 years old making good money at a good job. So we're fully committed through CTE anything that's possible for us to bring young talent in. We have experienced guys to train them.
That'll be great. And then I just ask that you follow with Councilmember Landau.
Sure.
I wanted to make sure I got that on the record for her
Appreciate
for this
it.
week. For me, I wanted to start with Department of Public Property.
Sure.
Commissioner Bresky, you know I have a special affinity for you guys. You all have done just a yeoman's job for us internally here in City Council. And you know that I have to put Raheem Stoner, may
Yes.
he continue to rest in peace, on the record for all of the work he did on our behalf. We lost him at the onset of COVID, but I remember he redid our entire office one summer in 581, and so I just want to always uplift his name and appreciate the work that he did and the work that all of you continue to do for us, particularly in City Hall. I wanted to add in, we're still missing our upholster. We miss Mr. Guy. So I just wanted to put that on the record because we miss Mr. Guy. He was the best at making drapes and helping with our furniture. Very quickly, though, and this will be for both of you, and for Fleet, Commissioner Rosati, I just want to thank you all so much, and Martin, who we call all the time, and Robert from your department, and all the guys in Fleet, but particularly Martin, who I call a whole bunch. We thank you so much for your work with the city vehicles in particular. And I have to put on the record that I'm just so appreciative of what you all did on my behalf when I had the unfortunate incident when the person broke into the city vehicle and stole all of my belongings. You all were just there and really, really helpful to us. And I also wanted to again, put this on the record for DPP, Rick. Is Rick here? Because I didn't see him today.
Yeah, Rick's here.
Oh, I can't see you past the chair. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for all of your work and everything you do on our behalf. So really quickly, for both departments, how many career and technical education graduates have you hired in your department? I know we visited some students at Mastbaum that are now working in fleet management, but particularly students who have taken advantage of the 5-point preference to receive city employment, both in fleet and in DPP.
Good, Joe.
Last fiscal year, we brought in 30 high school interns, and they do the 2-year program, and then eventually they'll get a civil service job as an automotive apprentice.
Okay.
And this year, we plan to do the same, another 30.
Okay, excellent. And then I guess they could take advantage of the CTE point preference when they apply for city service, correct? But I think we changed the specs previously with HR so that it lines up directly with the experience they get while they're there for the internship?
These particular kids, as long as they do well in school and get the correct grades they need, and they pass our criteria at the shop level, they automatically get the civil service job.
Right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And then for DPP, because I know we have a real dearth, particularly in the skilled trades.
Yes. So with inception, I was saying it was like 8 to 10 people that we had graduate through. So we try to, like you said, they work 1 day a week through the school year. Summer months, they become full-time. And then as we go through, they begin to grow. They begin to hone in on their trade, that they feel like we give them a choice of everything. They can do whatever they want, painter, upholstery. Upholstery's a dying breed. But, I mean, the plumbers, HVAC, they look for making the money too, so, I mean, which I can't fault them. But, and then once they become comfortable, they go with, they get into the trade they like, they enjoy. And then through high school, they work, repeat the process. Once they graduate, they become a trades helper. And then once they become a trades helper, we start getting them a little bit more involved. And just being mentored from the tradespeople of, you know, certain specific trades. And then and then they just continue to develop, and then they transition to a trades helper, and then we pay for them to go to school. They can go to Orleans, or they get reimbursed, and they become what they determine what they want to be. So, yeah, and then they got full-time employment.
Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to ask, particularly for DPP, is how we connect them with the trades so that they have, you know, say, for instance, they have like a union card so they could be a part of, but is it that they're a part of DC
They're part of DC 33.
DC 33?
Yes, yes.
Got it, okay, okay.
Yeah, we don't
All
have
right.
specific trade card holders. It's just DC 33
Received.
encompasses all our trade workers.
Okay, okay, received.
So they're
Okay.
automatically in, once they get in their union benefits,
Right.
the whole deal, like a regular city employee,
Okay.
civil service job. Yeah, and then it's up to them to continue what they want to be,
Trade.
sure.
Right, okay. Thank you very, very much, both of you.
No problem. Thank you for the kind words for Raheem, too.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, my
missed.
gosh.
Yep.
Listen.
I remember clearly working in your office back in the day. Yep.
Yeah, that was a fun summer, so thank you all so much.
No problem.
Really.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair now recognizes Councilmember Jim Harity, then Councilmember Kendra Brooks.
Thank you, Council President. Hello, Joe and Joe. What are you doing, brothers?
What's up,
Thank
Councilmember? How you doing?
For your service. Always like seeing you two, because I know you all both came up through the ranks, especially Joe. I remember you back in the day when I was in the managing director's office over at the shop, coming to see you. Yeah, you guys do good, and thank you for everything you do. And Ricky is always wonderful, man, to
Yep.
deal with. He's
Yes, he is.
good people. So I thank you. My questions, I have two, and real quick, just trying to figure some stuff out. And they're basically both the same question for both of you, just a little different spin. Your testimony indicates, public property, that the city has a goal of 37% of the contract dollars to go towards minority, disabled, and women-owned businesses. But some of the biggest contracts from FY25, like Elliott Lewis's $19 million contract to maintain the Kensington Wellness Center, and that's just an example, has had a 0% participation rate. Can you explain that discrepancy? And then fleet management, the same thing. Your testimony indicates fleet management has a 10% requirement for minority, women, and disability goal. But the largest professional services contracts this year had a 0 participation rate. Can you explain these discrepancies?
The Elliott Lewis one, Councilmember, thank you for the question. That was the new one for the Riverview Wellness Center? Is that the one you're questioning?
Yeah, I'm not questioning that. That was just an example of.
No, that's fine, yeah.
Of the thing. I'm just trying to get where we have that we're trying to get to a 37% goal for the year, and it's right now. It's
No,
0%.
I think we'll get to that point. I think it's just, the contract's fairly new. It's only been since January, and they're filling the staff, actually, and I think it's going to take time to get the first quarter numbers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we'll have data for that, and I could send that data over to you as we get more numbers of their participation rates and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because I know like the Black Doctors Consortium is there.
Yep.
They are minority and women.
Yes.
So that's,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure out the rest of the services and, making sure that we
Totally
hit
agree.
these goals.
No, that's
It's
incomplete
very important
data.
for us. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, no, I got you. That's incomplete data. And as you can see for PPSB, the police headquarters, Elliott Lewis is also the vendor over there, and their participation numbers are up to Q and above average. So once we have that data, it will reflect our first quarter numbers. It's just a new contract, and they're trying to build out and get their contractors on board. And so we'll have that data when we submit our numbers to
And you're
the first.
confident that they'll hit those numbers?
Confident, yes,
37%
yes,
doesn't
they've
seem
been
too grandiose, so, yeah.
The numbers have been consistent since they had the contract for police headquarters the past 4 or 5 years.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, Fleet is, has always had trouble with our OEO participation. We just don't get the vendors that will bid on our contracts to sell us parts, to sell us vehicles. But we keep trying. We work with OEO to try and do better with that.
Yeah, I guess I get it. It's a specialized kind of thing because it actually is vehicles
A
and
lot of
stuff
the automotive vendors that bid on our vehicles, there's in the automotive industry, it's a territorial thing.
Right.
So, only a certain Ford dealership will bid on our stuff.
Yeah, because they have a deal with the, yeah, I get it, yeah, it's part of their
And
contract with.
nobody else can bid on their territory.
Right.
So it's that too that makes, I think, it difficult for the participation that we're looking
To
for.
make it, yeah, because I get it, all right. Okay, all right. And maybe we need to start training some of these young people that you guys got over there to do some of these businesses too. That might be another avenue, you know what I mean, to make them entrepreneurs as well. But I love the work you guys are doing, and I love the participation with the CTE training and all, man, that's big stuff. For somebody to get, like you said, a job that's a head of household job, you can raise a family on, that's big stuff. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Hardy. Chair recognizes Councilmember Brooks, then Councilmember Young.
Thank you, Council President. This question is for public property. The mayor has proposed $2 billion housing initiatives that include $1 billion in Philadelphia property that the city hopes to transfer to private developers to facilitate the home initiative. Can you provide us with a list of current properties under consideration for inclusion in the home initiative?
At this time, I'm not aware of the properties. That would be a question for the home project. I'm just the signature of the property, so I'm not aware, and I haven't been provided any information yet.
Okay. So my other question is about the Chinatown Development Corporation and other community groups have singled out the Roundhouse as the former police administrative building as a key opportunity to develop affordable housing on publicly owned property. Can you tell us about your department's involvement in this effort and how it would impact or be impacted by that development?
That would be a question for planning. It's a bigger commercial project, and I'm not sure what's included in Project Home yet, or Home. So I'm not sure, I can't speak on. I don't have the right information to give you at this time.
Okay, this is another property question.
Go ahead.
It might be the same thing. So, the Philly home at 2100 Gerard was conducted as a state property, and it formerly housed tuberculosis ward, meaning that its air conditioning constantly filters outdoor air inside. And it has scored remarkably low rating on environmental tests as a result. And I understand that the lease on Philly home will expire soon, meaning that the city can either purchase a property from the Commonwealth, modify the lease, or move from the site. Is the city planning on purchasing this property from the Commonwealth? And if so, what would be the anticipated cost for a purchase or renovation?
And then we're talking about Philly Home at Gerard, right?
Yes.
Yes, we actually just took over maintenance for it. That was included in the wellness program. So we're doing improvements now to get everything up to date. But as far as there's not been no conversations of purchasing the building yet, I think that's a bigger conversation with, like you said, planning, and we would look at options to see what our options are. But at this time, there has been no talks about it.
So are there any plans in place to consider the structural environmental concerns of this building to ensure that it's safe for inhabitants before we figure out what the next steps are? I know you guys are using a portion of the building, but if we're on the entire
Sure, I
campus,
mean, we could do an evaluation of it. We just actually, I'm learning about the building myself, because we just took it over in January. We're officially in February, so we're really digging deep into Philly at Gerard. I mean, we're learning a lot about the building, and that's one of our standards, to get the facility up to date, make sure it's safe and clean for residents.
Okay, one other question.
Go ahead.
So, in the past year, we've seen a significant number of major buildings and institution closed down. For example, the University of Art closures and some other major buildings. And building makeovers that put is historically significant, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. Let me get the question. Is public property engaged in any effort to purchase some of these properties or evaluate the economic opportunity or efficiency of doing so? And if not, how is the public property working with private investors to ensure that at-risk, publicly significant architecture in Philadelphia is being meaningfully stewarded over? So like the Art Institute down that end and the Wanamaker building, and so many buildings that are
And I think that's bigger than public property. Like I said, it goes back to the planning commission, the administration, but we'd work together as a team to determine what our options are. If, say, we wanted to buy the Wanamaker building, we'd have to, talk with finance. We'd have to view our options, and really, it would be more of a planning commission type decision, but we would work closely with them. As you could see, there's probably buildings that are going to be up for sale, like you mentioned. We would just have to really generate and bring up the opportunity and see how the administration and planning feel about it.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
That was my time.
Thank you, Member Brooks. The chair recognizes Councilmember Jeffrey J. Young.
Thank you,
Or
Mr.
Philly.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say thank you to both of you. Your departments touch literally every single city department. So I just want to say thank you for the work that you're doing, because the city wouldn't run without your departments. So the one question I have for public property, it's very minute question, but City Hall is in the 5th Council District. And, just looking at some things in City Hall, I noticed when visitors come in, they always, they try to get hand sanitizer. It's never anything there, right? So
Time out. Did you just pull a rank? Did you just pull a rank and say City Hall's in the 5th Council?
It is in the 5th Council District, sir.
Cool. That's like heavy rank. Okay, sir. The chair recognizes Councilmember Young. Love it.
And I just noticed that again when visitors come in, this is want to give them a great impression of this building of our city, and something as small as hand sanitizer can,
Sure.
kind of
Go a long way.
discourage that, right? So if we can figure out, I know it's post-COVID and all, but people still got used to that. So can we, kind of fill the hand sanitizers up? That would be very appreciated.
You got it. We'll keep track. I know it's hit or miss with the hand sanitizers. We look at keeping up, safe conditions for visitors. I know visitors coming and going like to use it. That's totally fine. As you walk around, there's some automated ones that we keep, but we'll make a conscious effort to make sure. I'll talk to our cleaning vendor to make sure everything's upkept.
Yeah, and also with the restrooms, I'd like to, thank you for expanding that opportunity for visitors to use our restrooms here in City Hall, because public restrooms are limited in Center City. And so if we can, make sure that we stay on top of that, that'll be helpful as well.
No taken. Yep. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Member Young. Are there any other questions from members of the committee? Okay. Chair recognizes Councilmember Dr. Nina Meyer.
Just piggybacking on my colleague here about hand sanitizer, slightly bigger question about looking at our City Hall. I was just talking to my colleague Jamie Gautier about this at lunch, and we would love to spruce up City Hall. It's an iconic building, and the lighting when we enter I was ready to power wash the stairs. This is a historic and a tourist site.
Totally agree.
And I just wondered, where would this lie in terms of improving our look?
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, Councilmember, for that. I don't know if any of you know my background. I was 18 years ago. I started in City Hall. City Hall is my pride and joy. Nobody can really talk about City Hall, and I kind of get a little offended. We've done a lot of renovations over the years, needed renovations, new drop ceilings, new hi-hats, LED lights. The money only goes so far, so we have to pick.
Pause. Now, when you say the money only goes but so far, we had a budget hearing
No, we do
to
our best
discuss
to.
close to, what is it, $7 billion budget. And so we're talking about the budget regarding that money going even further?
I totally agree. No,
Go ahead, sir.
we try to take care of the more structural things, the more things that we need, new wiring, new lighting. So some of the cosmetics kind of go away, but we have painting in here every year. We have painters. We constantly through the hallways painting. So we're constantly updating, trying to upkeep the bathrooms. We do our best to you know, and it's also, we don't want to modernize it too much either because it is a historical building. So we can work with the cleaning vendor to power wash the steps. I also went as far as looking into trying to reshine the brass rails and stuff like that, just to bring back the feel of the old building.
Yeah, so I would highly recommend making this a public-private partnership.
Sure.
Working with our historical societies and philanthropic nonprofits to come up with sort of a plan which retains the historical nature and does not destroy that, but at the same time updates like our HVAC systems. We have terrible issues with our heating and cooling in our offices, but more than that, I think if we update what we look like
Sure.
and the pride we need to take in our city hall and as an iconic structure in the city, I think it'll pay for itself.
Sure.
Right? So I would love to
I totally
look
agree.
at, I am the vice chair of the Global Opportunities and Innovative Economy. I would love to take this
No,
as a
that's great.
project to work with you. Thank you
No,
so much.
I appreciate it. Thank
And I
you.
appreciate your passion for
you.
City Hall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Any other questions from members of the committee? Hearing none, we want to thank the two of you for your testimony. I want to also just reiterate just to one aspect. Any way we could be supportive as you refurbish, revitalize the building. And obviously, you're taking care of the structural things first and then with the cosmetics. Probably additional lighting would be helpful as well. And I'm a big fan of getting those drop ceilings, like the panels,
I know.
especially on the 5th
I know.
floor. Side,
That
my
was one of
office.
our questions.
Right.
We were just talking with the building manager about updating.
And the last thing, also, and some new members took me to task on this, more so for them, more so than for us guys. Like if I were overhaul all the bathrooms, right, all of them.
Beautiful.
Because you have, young ladies go and use the room, use the bathrooms. And I know that's been a big request from day one. Everybody can't get a bathroom in their office at the moment. And so I just think that would be like a great upgrade and an amenity just in terms of quality of life for those who work in City Hall. I think that would just be something great to take a look at.
I'm all for it.
And then we will advocate from a budgetary standpoint to make sure something like that happens. That's like the bare minimum in terms of the baseline is just
No, that's fine.
super upgrading, make the bathroom experience.
I got you, yeah. You want to meet the...
Right.
I totally agree. And then if
An
any council member
experience.
does have a problem, please reach out to me personally. If any questions or updates that you do need, we're here. Just reach out to us. We're willing to do it. But I agree with the bathroom experience.
Yeah, just that, make it an experience. Like,
Yeah.
you go to Tokyo, it's
Do
like
the
an
cologne and all. We'll
experience.
do the hand towels.
Yes. The chair recognizes Councilmember Ketty Lozada.
I clicked in earlier, but my colleague asked the same question. I just want to, for the record, say thank you. Thank you to you and your team for always being very responsive to me in my office. Nothing more. Grateful.
Well, congratulations on kicking off your tenure as Public
Appreciate
Property
it.
Commissioner. So expect more of this because this is
I
how this
know.
process works. But we know where your heart at and your commitment in
I
terms
appreciate
of
it. Thank you
your
very much.
job. And thank you, Commissioner Joe, for making sure, John, for making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in terms of our fleet. With that being said, the chair recognizes Councilman Gilmore Richards for a motion that the public hearing meeting on the bill and resolution before the committee today stand in recess until Wednesday, April the 16th, 2025 at 10 a.m. in
So
Royal
moved.
from 100.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
It has a moving property seconded that the public hearing and meeting on the bills and resolutions before the committee today stand in recess until Wednesday, April the 16th, 2025 at 10 a.m. in room 400. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. And this motion carries. The committee will stand in recess until Wednesday, April the 16th at 10 a.m. Thank you, everyone, for your service.